The first feather, a story of assumption. It did not begin with cages, it began with a feather. A forest, a rustle, a bird lifts into the sky. She leaves behind a single feather. A human pauses. They pick it up. Light, intricate, beautiful. They tuck it behind their ear. No harm is done. The bird is gone. The feather remains, but something has shifted. It is no longer just a feather, it becomes a symbol, a tool, a tradition. It is worn, admired, shown to others. Soon, feathers are not simply found, they are sought. Nests are inspected, eggs are gathered, and birds are followed. What began as wonder becomes a pattern of possession. The forest is no longer shared, it is mapped, managed, harvested. Animals become not companions, but resources. The moment you name something, Krishnamurti once said, you are no longer looking at it. The feather is no longer itself. It is meaning, it is utility, it is ours. This was not survival. This was not hunger. This was not a threat. It was a gesture of ease, a reach because one could reach. And from that ease, a habit was born. Curiosity gave way to collection. Admiration grew to ownership. Usefulness to entitlement. The feather became a standard, and desire grew. Not just for feathers, but for nests, for eggs, for birds bred not to fly, but to be caught. The forest was no longer a home, it became a system. Watched, organized, extracted. A mentality was born. If it can be taken, it is there to be taken. If it gives value, value is ours to claim. And sometimes, even when the act seems caring, even when it claims to serve the animal's best interest, the underlying belief remains unchanged. The animal still exists to be used, that our judgment justifies their subjugation. That we call care is still a cage, so long as it denies their freedom. Even benevolence can be a mask for control. It is what our ancestors did, some might say, but often that claim is thin. Ancestry becomes alibi, a way to keep taking and call it respect. It did not begin with cages, it began with a feather, and a thought too small to question. Why not? This assumption did not ask, is this just? It asked, is this possible? And that was enough. Farming, commodification, domestication, consumption, not born of need, not born of cruelty, born of entitlement, its earliest and quietest form. The feather is the egg, is the shell on the windowsill, is the fur on the roadside, is the honey in the jar. Each one a gesture made harmless, a habit. Each one a belief. If no one sees me take it, then surely no wrong was done. It is here that Thoreau's warning finds us. There are 1,000 hacking at the branches of evil, he wrote, to the one who is striking at the root. To strike at the root is to ask, what belief permits the taking? What worldview makes the world available? The feather was not offered, it was not exchanged, it was simply there, and it was claimed. What belief made the first act seem harmless? And how many acts since have carried that same belief forward, shaping a world not built on reference, but on the presumption of availability? The feather was not the beginning. It was simply a moment that we noticed, a moment that asked nothing but told everything. And so I ask you, not for answers, but for companionship in the question. Let us unravel this together. What do we mean by use? When does presence become possession? When does wonder turn to ownership? Even care, even kindness, when tethered to control, can quietly deny freedom. I've begun to explore these questions more deeply. I invite you to join me in my latest reflection called Unraveling the Inquiry of Use. I've written this blog article not to conclude the matter, but to walk further into it together.